times to reach to the top. But when you reach there, ensure you become a role model, that where women want to become like you, men want their girls to be like you but not their wives, because they only admire the power in you, but they don't like the power. So exercise the power that you've been bestowed by the Meru people very responsibly, so that the men can support you and walk with you. I've walked that journey, so I know. So look, going forward, ensure you go and unite the people of Meru. Unite all the leaders of Meru. Because believe me, in case of any...
Senator Ojenda. Senator Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for according me the opportunity to make a contribution to the debate before the House on the impeachment of Senator Mwangaza under Articles 181 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, it is clear that the 7 charges leveled against the Governor of Meru have a set threshold that must be established in now settled decisions of the Supreme Court on the impeachment of Governor Sonko and set by the Court of Appeal on the impeachment of Governor Wambora. Mr. Speaker, sir, I participated in both cases. I've also had the advantage, Mr. Speaker, sir, of participating in the impeachment of the Governor of Wajir, Mr. Mohamud, who is successfully returned to office after impeachment. The threshold question, Mr. Speaker, sir, is therefore important, and I just want to address myself to that question. Mr. Speaker, sir, the charges included misappropriation and misuse of county resources, nepotism and related unethical practices, bullying, vilification and demeaning of other leaders, as set out under Article 75, 2 and 3, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers, contempt of court, illegally naming a public road after a husband, and lastly, contempt of the county assembly. It is imperative that the threshold set, or that should be set and as properly defined in the Sonko case, should be above, somewhere above the doubt, and somewhere below below the threshold required for criminal trials. But Mr. Speaker, sir, turn to the effect of impeachments, and this is what should guide this assembly in voting. The effect of an impeachment is to permanently bar an individual from holding any public office. So whatever you do today, you'd be barring Governor Mwangaza from holding any public office in the Republic. Is this a fair act that this Senate should sit back and undertake when voting? I think that is the $6 million question. Mr. Speaker, sir, the gender question, and I think this is something, and I don't want to talk about scorpions and crocodiles and frogs, but in my understanding of what is before this Senate, the levels that have been defined.
Is up, Senator Charanke.
Mr. Speaker, sir, one, I want to congratulate members of County Assembly. I predicted in December that we'll go back where we are today during the first impeachment. I want to thank the MCS, Mr. Speaker. It is their constitutional right. Impeachment is a political process. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy gender is not on trial. It is about the competency, the ability, and discharge of the work of the governor. Mr. Speaker, when you look at the loss of 78 million, Mr. Speaker, the County Assembly has gone beyond and proved that the governor could not account for 78 million. Mr. Speaker, that charge has been proved. Number 2, Mr. Speaker, on the appointment, I was shocked, Mr. Speaker, under Article 183, Article 65, Article Section 30 and Section 45 of the County Governments Act, Mr. Speaker. You have been a governor. It is very clear that the governor abdicated. And in fact, on the record, The governor said she had delegated her role to county secretary, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, number 3, it goes to the point. Where is the 1.5 Meru people, Mr. Speaker? It cannot be that you don't agree with the MCS, you don't agree with the church, you don't agree with Jurinjeke, you don't agree with elected leaders, 10 or 11 of them, Mr. Speaker. It is not that all others are wrong, Mr. Speaker, until you disfranchise, humiliate, vilify, bully elected leaders in front of the president. Mr. Speaker, the deputy president and the president on several occasions have tried to reconcile. What is it hard for governor to work with the rest? Because whenever a problem comes, they only come up with a gender guard. And I tell you, there is a saying that is popular that what a man can do, a woman can do more. What has happened? There were insults from the men. But did you see, Mr. Speaker, on record on WhatsApp, the governor herself said to the deputy governor, you will defecate avocado seeds, Mr. Speaker. So which insult is better than the other, Mr. Speaker? We cannot hide, Mr. Speaker. We must lift the veil. For Meru to move forward, we must stand with the MCS and give them the confidence to ensure oversight, Mr. Speaker. I can assure you, Mr. Speaker, if today Governor Kawira Mwangaza, Mr. Speaker, is shown the door, Meru will heal and will go for the better going into the future. Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, because of the short time, I want to start by saying that from the onset, this Senate agreed that we are going to listen to this case, the merits and demerits of the case, and make a decision. Mr. Speaker, I've spent hours here, sitting here, listening to the presentation from the two parties. And I want to say that I was shocked, Mr. Speaker, as an IT expert in my other life, that the county assembly presented to this house an extract from IFMIS. An extract from IFMIS.
Order, honorable senators. May the senator be heard in silence.
An alleged extract from IFMIS that is not verified. Mr. Speaker, this house has passed a law called the Computer Misuse and Cybercrime Act 2018. And I participated in processing this bill. Under Section 14, subsection 2, it is very clear that any data from a computer system, especially a computer system that is categorized under Section 9 of the same Act as a critical information infrastructure, that access must be based on a consent. Mr. Speaker, we have been presented with an extract from IFMIS which has no consent. Yes, they made an attempt to get a consent, but there are other offices which could have provided the consent, like the Controller of Budget Office, the Treasury, and even the IFMIS Directorate itself. They never made that effort. Mr. Speaker, this particular extract was provided by an anonymous person called Salasio. This man has not been brought to this house to testify. This man is not known whether this money exists or not. The house cannot, a house of parliament is a house of record. We cannot be made to sit here for hours listening to submission based on a document that is not verified, a document that is unlawful. Mr. Speaker, this house has to be respected. In addition to that, Mr. Speaker, there were some submissions given as evidence of WhatsApp. And this matter was questioned by Senator Gloria. And the council on the other side brushed over the issue. But if you go to another law that was passed by this house called the Data Protection Act, Section 26 of that act talks about the data subject rights.
Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I first want to start appreciating the County Assembly of Meru County for the far they've come from. It's been challenging. It's been evident out there. It's been tough. They've walked a journey like any other journey that you can walk. Every journey has turbulence. Every journey has ups and downs. I note that we have very few women governors. We have only 7. Kawira is one of them. Governor Kawira, this is the second time that you've been returned to this house. I do not agree in any capacity in regards to the videos that we've seen, especially with some of the Meru leaders who are men. Mr. Speaker, I speak as a married woman, one married from the Meru community. Meru men are respectful. What we've seen is among the few. It is sad. It should not happen. I speak as a mother of a girl child. It is sad. As women, we are very few in this house, only 21. Our positions in this government, they are few. And I want to say and urge, in the event, Madam Governor, you get a chance to go and work for the people of Meru, I challenge you and ask you and request you, bring your house in order. Because as a leader, it is not the members of parliament you will work with. It is these MCAs who have to pass your budget. It worries. If then you cannot work with them, then the budgets will not be passed. Developments will not be done. Services will not be rendered. It will be unfair for the people. If this house decides that it will be a sad affair, the worst to happen, it will be sad because we'll have reduced from 7 to 6 governors. So I request you, I urge you that with whatever results that shall be there, we try as leaders to ensure that we try and work together, because without working with these MCAs, there is no opportunity. I walked with you last time up there, and that is why all the time you'll find that the cameras, the gazettes, will always have my point.
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kuchangia mjadala huu muhimu ambao uko mbele yetu. Kwanza napongeza pande zote mbili, pande ya Assembly na pande ya Governor, kwa kuja bunge la Senate kujaribu kutatua matatizo yao. Na upande wote uamuzi utakaotoka hapa ni kwamba hakuna upande ambao utakuwa umeshinda. Ni kwamba uamuzi utakaotoka hapo utakuwa ni uamuzi wa bunge ambao lazima tuukubali na vile vile pia utekeleze kama itakavyokubalika. Mheshimiwa Spika, sisi kama Waislamu tunasema kosa moja haliachi mke, haliachi bibi, kosa moja haliachi bibi. Na tunasema pia kwamba talaka ni mara 3. Unaweza kumpa bibi talaka akenda akarudi, ukampa ya pili akenda akarudi, ya 3 ndio inakuwa ya mwisho. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, Governor Kawira alikuja hapa mara ya kwanza mwaka jana nafikiri, na talaka haikuweza kupita. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika ana fursa nyingine kuja hapa kuja kuangalia ni vipi ambao tatokea matatizo yake. Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kwamba ni masikitiko kwamba ushahidi uliotolewa haukuweza kuthibitisha makosa ambayo yamedaiwa kufanyika na Governor Kawira. Mheshimiwa Spika, tukiangalia makosa yote ambayo yamezungumziwa hapa na ushahidi ulioletwa haukuweza kufikia kiwango ambacho kimewekwa na mahakama ya upeo kabisa, yani Supreme Court, katika kuangalia masuala kama haya. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, itakuwa ni dhuluma kubwa kuweza kumpeleka nyumbani Governor Kawira kwa ushahidi ambao haukufikia kiwango unachohitajika na mahakama. Mheshimiwa Spika, uamuzi utakaofanywa usiku wa leo hautasaidia yale matatizo ambayo yako Meru samani. Na ni jukumu la viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa wote kuhakikisha kwamba tatizo hili wameweza kulitatua wao kama viongozi wa Meru, kwa sababu matatizo ya Meru hayawezi kutatuliwa na viongozi wa kutoka Isiolo, hawezi kuchaguliwa na viongozi kutoka Mombasa, wala viongozi kutoka sehemu yoyote, isipokuwa watu wa Meru wenyewe wakae chini waangalie matatizo haya, waweze kuamua ili watu wa Meru waweze kupata maendeleo kama ilivyotarajiwa na katiba yetu ya mwaka 2010. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa kumalizia ni kwamba tumepata fursa ya kujua matatizo ya Meru, na fursa hii ni fursa ambayo iko katika kaunti zetu zote ambazo tuko nazo katika nchi yetu ya Kenya, na isiwe kwamba wakitoka hapa mmoja amesema mimi nimeshinda. La, watakokuwa wameshinda ni watu wa Meru kupata uongozi na kupata viongozi ambao watasaidia kupeleka kaunti ya Meru mbele. Asante sana Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Senator Meru. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me an opportunity to speak to this motion. Honorable Speaker, this evening I've been called upon to make a very difficult decision. A decision that if we send Governor Kawira home, then her career comes to a grinding halt. Honorable Speaker, as it has been said, the threshold of an impeachment has been set in Article 181 of the Constitution of Kenya. It has also been very well spelled out in the precedents that have been set in the decision of the High Court in the Wambora case and in the decision of the Court of Appeal in the Wambora case, Honorable Speaker. Well, I thank the County Assembly for, because it is within their functions to process an impeachment. When I looked at the charges that have been placed against the Governor of Meru, Honorable Speaker, as a person who sits in the Public Accounts Committee, I looked at the evidence that was adduced in charge number 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. And Honorable Speaker, as a member who sits in that committee, we all agree that an infamous extract cannot become evidence as to why and how the Governor of Meru is corrupt on this particular charge, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on the charge number 2, on nepotism and unrelated ethical practices, when the council and the team from the County Assembly was called upon to come and give evidence in chief as to how the Governor of Meru is nepotistic, Honorable Speaker, they told us that it is public knowledge that the people that are in those photos are her relatives, Honorable Speaker. So, Honorable Speaker, how am I supposed to know that a person that appears in a photo is a relative of Senator Olekina, is my own relative? Many people have said that the person who was playing guitar on this video looks like myself. How am I not? How, Mr. Speaker, is it that finally, Honorable Speaker, on charge number 3, on bullying, vilification, and demeaning of other leaders, Honorable Speaker, the evidence that was brought by the County Assembly was of a man playing guitar here, singing when Wenyewivu Wajinyonge. You know, that was the accusation that the Governor Kawira demeans other leaders. On the contrary, Honorable Speaker, the video that was played by the defense of the Governor, Honorable Speaker, it printed an image of a patriarchal community, deep, painful images that I would never want. My own children, my own wife. Honorable Speaker, that is not the society that we would want for our daughters, Honorable Speaker. It is not a mistake for anybody to become a leader and she's a woman, Honorable Speaker. It is not a mistake, Honorable Speaker, and it is not the way that we can encourage our girls to become leaders, Honorable Speaker, that when you are a leader, if you disagree with other people, they use sexuality to harass you, Honorable Speaker.
Now, Honorable Senators, at this juncture, I will call the Governor. Governor Kawira, you have 10 minutes to address the Senate. The order, Honorable Senators, order. Honorable Kawira, you can take the stand. You have 10 minutes. Order, Honorable Senators. Order, Senators. Senator Gloria Oroba, leave the chamber immediately. Heston, please. Heston or the sergeant at arms will help you. Proceed, Governor.
Honorable Speaker.
Order, senators. Let us hear the governor in silence, please.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable members.
Order, senators. Let us hear the governor in silence.
Honorable Speaker and honorable senators of this House, I want to take this opportunity to really thank you for your time. I know it has not been easy for you. God bless you for your time. Honorable Speaker, I'm here today pleading with this House. And I want to say it in Kiswahili. Mateso ni mengi, lakini Mungu tusaidia. If I have wronged any person in this House, in Meru, in Kenya, I pray for forgiveness. As a mother, a leader, it is my duty to unite Meru people. And I pray for more grace, that God will give me power to bring all the leaders together. I pray unto our Father to give me more energy, to give me more grace. Na Mungu anipe kuvumilia kwingi to see Meru people happy. The members of Parliament, our dear Deputy Senator of this House, the MCAs, Deputy Speaker, if I've wronged any one of you, forgive me. Honorable Speaker, I was elected as an independent governor. I know I need MCAs. I've tried my best, and I shall still continue trying my best to see that I work with everyone. Honorable Speaker and this Honorable House, no one is an angel. I'm not an angel. Each and every one of us has his or her own weaknesses. It is my prayer to God that the weaknesses that I might have, God will help me, so that we work together as a team and make Meru people happy. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of this House, I take this opportunity again to say thank you, and I pray that you give me a second chance. God bless you.
Honorable senators, I will allow the senator for Meru 5 minutes to address the House.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this opportunity also to make my contribution to the motion. And Honorable Speaker, on the onset is maybe to challenge the procedure, because I wish we are making these comments after we did the voting. Because, Honorable Speaker, if we hear the comments of many senators here, even the Madam Governor, it's like we have concluded the business and still we are to cast our votes. So, Mr. Speaker, nevertheless, I want to say that this House, on Article 96(1) of the Constitution, the Senate represents counties and serves to protect the interests of the counties and their governments. And Mr. Speaker, I wish before any governor is brought to this House to prosecute any impeachment procedure or process, this House can be able to go to that particular county, understand the issues that have been released by the members of the county assembly of that particular county. Mr. Speaker, you know I live in Meru, and even tomorrow I'll be traveling to Meru. All the 47 or the 67 senators who are here, they don't live in Meru. So, Mr. Speaker, I wish during this process, at some point, before the governor is brought to this assembly or this House, there is a process that can be an intermediary in a way that these issues can be canvassed. And I want to thank Senator Omtata in his, what he is trying to do in his petition. I wish a tribunal can be set up. A tribunal can be able to sit with the MCs, with the governor, with the leaders of that particular county, so that they can be heard by that tribunal. But when any governor is impeached and brought to the Senate immediately and directly, members of that particular county loses that opportunity to prosecute the issues, Honorable Speaker. So on this particular case, let me say that Meru, where I live, we have a problem, and a big one, Mr. Speaker. And you have heard the governor has confessed that she has some weaknesses that she will pray on to help her overcome. So that tells us that there is a problem in Meru, and Mr. Speaker, it is not the way we put our steps, we clap, we shout, but Meru has issues that need to be addressed. And because Meru is not living in a vacuum, I want to address the head of state, His Excellency the President, to take charge and understand what is in Meru, what is ailing Meru County. I want to thank the MCAs. They have done their work excellently. There is no way that 59 MCAs can be logged or manned that they impeached the governor for the third time. The MCAs have issues that they have raised in their petition. But also, Mr. Speaker, you know, unless these gentlemen and ladies are hand, then we can never solve Meru issues. As I speak here, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell this House and convince them enough that Meru has issues, has problems. And also, Mr. Speaker, when we see creeps print in vernacular, I also wanted to actually challenge also that process of executing these witnesses. When a creep is print in vernacular, some are not audible, and then what is translated might not be what was said. So what do we have to say that this script is very articulate? So, Mr. Speaker, what I want to request my colleagues here, as we make this decision, look to all the counts. Let us not bring down to only one issue about women. This thing called Kebiri, is it an instrument or this used to star porridge or maziwarara? So, Mr. Speaker, that particular creep, to me, as a Meru Linda, I think there was a misrepresentation of the meaning of that particular creep, Mr. Speaker. So as we also make our decision, I hope the Senate can still review those scripts.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, your time is up. Now, honorable senators, at this juncture, I will call upon the mover to reply.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I've had opportunity to listen to colleague senators, and of course the views are far and wide, as you would imagine. Many agree, many disagree with what has been spoken about here. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to humbly plead with the House that immediately after this procedure, please let us conclude the impeachment procedure bill. We cannot be the House that is castigating county assemblies for not having lived up to the dictates of our Constitution, yet as a Senate for 3 terms, we have not been able to guide our county assemblies on how to properly carry out an impeachment. It is my humble submission, Mr. Speaker, that the County Assembly of Meru did their job exceptionally well. In fact, Mr. Speaker, because you are drawing close, to me, there are certain charges among SS7 that the County Assembly has proved beyond reasonable doubt. Mr. Speaker, it is unfortunate that we find ourselves in such a situation where I think, like one senator has said, damned if you do, damned if you don't. And I want to reiterate as I conclude, Mr. Speaker, what I prescribed earlier in my moving notes, that either way, whether we save Governor Kawira or whether we impeach her, Meru people will still need the guidance of this House, because there are no easy way out of the current situation. The failure that exists in Meru is far and beyond either saving or impeaching a particular governor. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to request our colleagues that let's conclude this exercise. Cast your vote with your conscience. Listen to what the people of Meru are saying. You cannot, Mr. Speaker, openly side and say that certain leaders have spoken about things that do not impress you. While we have seen that actually it appears to be a culture in Meru where every leader, including none other than this Governor Kawira, who's here with us, say very foul things to each other. That is a bad culture that we need not encourage in our politics. Therefore, my final words, Mr. Speaker, to Governor Kawira, I don't know whether we will survive or fall, but Governor, take time to read the Bible. Don't just preach. If you read the Bible, you will find answers to some of the questions that continue to follow you. It cannot be, like many have observed, that all these 59 MCAs that are saying in less than 1 year, on 2 occasions, that you are unfit to hold office and they be thoroughly wrong. There is something that you need to soul search and find deep within yourself to reflect, Madam Governor. And should perhaps God grant you grace and you continue to serve these people, please change your ways and find it in your heart to work with other leaders. That is not to say that I know how this vote will go. It is now the opportunity of the 47 delegations. Mr. Speaker, I'm being told to talk to the MPs, but they are our colleagues, Madam Speaker, and you know, many of them actually, anyway, I don't want to be, Mr. Speaker, we are really pressed for time, and I want senators to vote before midnight. And I think I have said everything that I need to say. I think if the glove doesn't fit, you must acquit. I thank you.
Now, honorable senators, pursuant to Standing Order 84-1, I do make a determination that this matter indeed affects counties and therefore voting shall be by delegations. I will direct the Sergeant at Arms to ring the bell for 10 minutes. Now, the reason why the bell needs to be rung for 10 minutes the system needs to reboot. It has been overstretched beyond its limits. If we start voting now, it's going to collapse. So for those 10 minutes, the system will reboot, and then voting shall be done electronically. Thank you.
Well, a debate on the motion on hearing and determination of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the governor of Meru County, has just come to a conclusion. The speaker has directed that a 10-minute bell, this is a division bell, because once the debate is over, then the members will be going into voting on the charges that have been leveled against Governor of Meru, Honorable Kawira Mwangaza. These charges are 7 charges. And what we have just seen is that the members, a few members, of course, going by the time constraints, a few members of the Senate managed to give their opinions and views on the evidence and the presentations that were done by both parties, that is the County Assembly of Meru and the executive, that is the governor's side. The charges include misappropriation and misuse of county resources, nepotism and related unethical practices, bullying, vilification, and demeaning other leaders, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers, contempt of court, illegally naming a public road after husband, as well as contempt over the assembly. So these are the 7 charges that the governor of Meru County is facing. And the 10-minute bell, that is the division bell, is just to put in place the measures that will be guiding in the voting process. Remember, 47 of the senators will be taking a vote as directed by the speaker, indicating that the vote will be by delegation. By delegation, this is under the standing order number 83 on county delegation, that each county delegation shall have 1 vote to be cast on behalf of the county by the head of the county delegation, or in the absence of the head of the delegation, by another member of the delegation designed by the head of the delegation. So in 10 minutes, these members will be going into division. The speaker has already directed that division will be done by electronic voting. This is pursuant to standing order number 86. That indicates that unless the speaker, for the convenience of the Senate, otherwise directs, voting on any division in the Senate shall be by electronic voting. When the speaker directs that an electronic vote be taken, the division bell, which is what is currently underway, 10 minutes in this manner, but in the standing order, it indicates that when the speaker directs that an electronic vote be taken, the division bell shall be rung for 5 minutes, and the Senate shall proceed to a vote at the expiry of the 5 minutes, or such further time as the speaker may, for the convenience of the Senate, direct. And that is exactly what the speaker has done. For the convenience of the Senate, the speaker has directed that the division bell be rung for 10 minutes. As you can see, members they are preparing to be able to come back and take that vote. Remember, these are 7 charges, and each charge will be voted on. Members will be taking a vote on each and every charge and give their views and opinion on how these charges have been, how each and every charge has been substantiated or not substantiated with regards to the evidence and the presentations that have been done by the 2 parties, both the governor's side as well as the county assembly side. So each member will be casting a vote on each of this charge, depending on how he or she feels whether it has been substantiated or not substantiated. Standing order 86 per 3 indicates that during electronic voting, senators shall cast their votes by presenting the yes, no, or abstain button. So as we do this broadcast, there will be a broadcast of the voting process, and we shall be showing you how the voting is counting, or how the voting is taking place. How many senators will be voting yes on each charge, how many senators will be voting no on each charge, and if there is any that will choose to abstain from voting on any of the charges that will be read out by the Speaker as he guides the House into voting on these allegations that have been made by the County Assembly of Meru against the County Governor, that is Honorable Kawira Mwangaza. We understand that both parties are still in the chambers and they will be witnessing this voting as it takes place. So we will be seeing three results, should I say, or sides: those who are saying yes to a charge, those who will be saying no to a charge, and those who may choose to abstain from voting either yes or no. Standing Order 86 on electronic voting, Part 4 indicates that at the expiry of the 5 minutes, or as soon as the result of the voting appears on the indicator board, the Speaker or the Chairperson, as the case may be, in this case is the Speaker, shall announce the results of the division forthwith. But of course, we understand that we will also be able to view the results as they trickle in this case. Each and every member will be directed to take a vote on each of the charges. And once the voting starts, then we will be able to broadcast and show you how the numbers are trickling in on that particular board. And once the Speaker reads out the results of the division, then we will be able also to see that the vote has been cast in one way or the other. A senator who is not able to cast his or her vote due to any reason considered sufficient by the Speaker may, before the result of the division is announced and after obtaining the permission of the Speaker, have his or her vote recorded verbally by stating whether he or she is in favor of or against the question. Remember, once in a while we have seen division taking place at the Senate, and there have been challenges on the electronic voting that has sometimes necessitated the House to go into roll call voting. So we are not hoping that, or we are not seeing any challenges at the moment, but should such a challenge arise, then a senator will be given an opportunity to cast their vote verbally. If the electronic vote refuses to work altogether, then members of the Senate will go into division through the roll call voting. This is also an option that is available in the House Standing Order 88, where in case of a failure of an electronic voting, then the House can opt to do the roll call voting. Remember, 47 members, that is the county delegation, 47 members of the Senate, these are elected members, will be casting their vote. And in this case, for a charge to be termed as having been substantiated or not substantiated, then the number has to be 25. This is more than half of the senators in the chamber, or the elected senators. So we are looking at 25 members to be voting in one way for it to be having termed as a complete vote or a complete decision by the senators. So once we go back into the division process or the voting process, then the members will be looking at having a 25 number there for it to be able to move to the next stage in all the charges that have been forwarded to the Senate with regards to the removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, who is the the governor of Meru County. So once the 10-minute quorum or rather division bell lapses, then the speaker, of course, will call the House to order, and each senator will be required to log out of their electronic devices, then again log in. By that, then that means that the process will be picking up at the same time, and each member will be allowed to be able to cast their vote, and then the numbers will be showing on the board, and we will be able to broadcast it to you wherever you are, and you'll be able to see the votes as they come in on that particular board. Remember, this is a live broadcast that has been brought to you by the Parliamentary Broadcasting Unit in partnership with the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation. We have been broadcasting this at 2-day trial for you live, and you have been keenly following these proceedings. We have seen members giving their chambers, and of course that is one of the issues that we have seen senators extensively touching on in their debate as the presentations were over, and the House had gotten into the debate session on the motion that is the motion on the removal from office by impeachment of the Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza. So if you are just joining us, then just remember that we are at the tail end of this 2-day trial. There have been processes from Tuesday at 9 a.m. when the hearing process began. And today, remember, it was a 2-day trial, 2 days appointed. That was the 7th of November and the 8th of November appointed for this particular hearing, or rather impeachment hearing. And at this moment, the Senate is rushing against time. Remember, it was only 2 days, that is the 7th and 8th of November, to have completed this particular hearing, investigated the case, and did make a determination and find out whether the allegations or accusations that have been leveled against the governor can be substantiated or not, and give a communication on the same. So what will be coming up after the bell is that the senators will be taking their vote on this particular day in a manner that has been termed to be an electronic voting. But should there be any challenges in the electronic voting, then the House may opt to go the roll call voting way. The roll call standing order number 88 indicates that when the Speaker directs a roll call vote to be taken, the division bell shall be rung for 5 minutes. But currently it is a division bell that members are putting themselves in order to be able to come back and vote electronically. That is the first approach that members usually use in such a case. Once they choose, all right, allow me to hand you over. It seems like the 10 minutes is done. Allow me to hand you over for the voting process.
Order. Honorable Senators, kindly take your seats. Honorable Senators, kindly take your seats. Senator Mandago, why are you holding hands? Order, Honorable Senators, let us take our seats. Sergeant at Arms, kindly proceed to close the doors and draw the bars. Now, Honorable Senators, before we proceed to vote, allow me to bring clarity to this process so that there are no mistakes as we proceed to vote. We are voting 7 times because the charges are 7. So we'll call one charge, you vote. We move to the other charge, we vote, until we come to the very last 7th charge. Now, I want to make it clear. These are 7 charges. If one of them is substantiated, Her Excellency Governor Kawira ceases being a governor of Meru, even if it's just one charge that has been substantiated. If I call the charge, if you vote yes, it means you're saying that charge has been substantiated. If you vote no, you're saying that charge has not been substantiated. So that clarity is important so that we don't make mistakes as we proceed on this very important Now, Honorable Senators, voting shall be done electronically. And this juncture, therefore, I will call upon the delegates to log out. Sergeant at Arms, I want you to go around and pull out any card, any delegate card that is still inside the delegate unit. Once you have done that, Sergeant at Arms, kindly confirm so that we move to the next step. At this juncture, Honorable Senators, you must be holding your card, your delegate card, in your hands. Sergeant at Arms, you are waiting for your signal. Good. Now, Honorable Senators, proceed to log back. Log back into the delegate units. So before you proceed to vote, I will now put the question, which is that whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution and Section 33 of the County Governments Act, on Wednesday, 25th of October 2023, the Meru County Assembly approved a motion to remove from office by impeachment Honorable Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County. Whereas by a letter reference M/Cares Volume 4/43, dated the 26th of October 2023, and received in the office of the Speaker of the Senate on Friday, 27th of October 2023, the Speaker of Meru County Assembly informed the Speaker of the Senate of the approval of a motion by the County Assembly and further forwarded to the Speaker of the Senate documents in evidence of the proceedings of the Assembly. Further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order 80 of the Senate heard the County Assembly on the grounds for removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County. And further, whereas pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order 80, the Senate also heard the Honorable Kawira Mwangaza on the grounds for her proposed removal from office by impeachment as the Governor of Meru County. Now, therefore, Honorable Senators, pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order 80, the Senate resolves to remove from office by impeachment the Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County, on the following charges. Charge 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. Charge 2, nepotism and related unethical practices. Charge 3, bullying, vilification, and demeaning other leaders. Charge number 4, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers. Charge number 5, contempt of court. Charge number 6, illegally naming a public road after her husband. And lastly, charge number 7, contempt of the Assembly. Honorable Senators, I further guide that we shall have a separate vote for each charge. There will therefore be 7 separate votes. We shall now proceed to vote, starting with charge number 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. You may proceed to vote. Honorable Senators, after you've voted, you sit in silence. Now, honorable senators, we shall move to charge number 2, nepotism and related unethical practices. You may proceed to vote. Honorable senators, we shall now proceed to charge number 3, bullying, vilification and demeaning other leaders. You may proceed to vote. Honorable senators, we now move to charge number 4, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers. You may now proceed to vote. Honorable Gataya, you're out of order, and I call you to order. The Honorable Senator Tom Ojenda, proceed to dispatch and cast your vote. Honorable Senators, we shall now move to charge number 5, contempt of court. You may proceed to vote. Honorable Senators, we shall now move to charge number 6, illegally naming of a public road after her husband. You may proceed to vote. Now, honorable senators, we shall proceed to the last charge. Now, to the members of public, depending on which side you are, and depending on how the voting will be done on this last charge, you must be silent. To the parties, it matters not the outcome of the vote on the last charge. You must be seated in silence. To the members who are seated in the speaker's gallery, it matters not the outcome of the vote on the last charge. You must sit in silence. Charge number 7, contempt of the assembly. Senators, you may now proceed to vote. Senator Siango, take your seat. Honorable Senators, the results of the division are as follows. Charge number 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. Ayes 19, nays 28. The nays have it. Charge number 2, nepotism and related unethical practices. Ayes 5, nays 42, abstain 0, the nays have it. Charge number 3, bullying, vilification and demeaning other leaders. Ayes 3, nays 44, abstain 0, the nays have it. Charge number 4, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers. The ayes 20 votes, nays 27 votes, abstain 0 vote, the nays have it. Charge number 5, contempt of court. The ayes 3 votes, the nays 44 votes, abstain 0, so the nays have it. Charge number 6, illegally naming a public road after her husband. Ayes 4 votes, the nays 43 votes, abstain 0, so the nays have it. Charge number 7, contempt of the assembly. Ayes 10 votes, nays 37 votes, abstain 0, so the nays have it. Now, honorable senators, Section 33(7) of the County Governments Act provide as follows. If a majority of all members of the Senate vote to uphold any impeachment charge, the governor shall cease to hold office. Honorable senators, the result of the division indicate that the Senate has not upheld any of the impeachment charges. Pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33(8) of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order 87 of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate has failed to remove from office by impeachment Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County. And the Governor accordingly continues to hold office. You may now withdraw the bars and open the doors. Now, to the parties, you shall stay seated as the senators exit the chamber. Likewise, the people who are in the public gallery, you will stay seated as the senators leave the chamber. And for those who are seated in the public gallery, you shall stay seated as the senators leave the chamber. Honorable senators, you may now rise. Senator Sotsi. Order, honorable senators, order. Honorable senators, there being no other business on the order paper, the Senate stands adjourned until Tuesday, 14th of November 2023 at 2:30 p.m. I thank you. That communication was communicated here by Senator Muma. For those who attend sessions, they know.
Well, that is the end of the two-day trial of the proposed removal from office of Governor Kawira by impeachment, a resolution that was reached by the County Assembly.